What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 3 of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoons August 2025 tournament. We got two awesome decks to show you, so let's check them out. First up is myself with blue-black creature control. This is a bit of a brew that I started working on when I was working on a different video project and realized that Cavern Harpy and Doomsday Spectre can help get curable value out of a lot of ETB creatures. Now granted, those creatures do have to be either blue or black, so it does kind of constrain what you can play with, but I think this is a really interesting idea. It needs a little bit more development time. I kind of rushed bringing this to a monthly, but I had a ton of fun with it. So let's just get into what this deck is all about, the creatures. Starting off, I did mention Cavern Harpy. It is a blue and a black 2-drop flyer that when it ETBs, you do have to return a blue or a black creature to your hand. Now you can also pay 1 life to return Cavern Harpy to your hand as well, and it mostly sees play in a Lurin combo, which lets you repeatedly bounce it to its own triggered ability with, say, I think it's a Beast Maker or something. Whatever a beast enters, you draw a card. Cavern Harpy is a beast, so it draws your whole deck and you combo from there. But we're not doing anything super unfair. We're just going for the more value side. So some of its targets that have good ETPs in Premodern that are in blue and black are 4 Ravenous Rats, which when it enters, your opponent discards a card. 2 Bone Triggers, which are a 3-drop 1/1 flyer with Echo as well, and when it ETBs, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. 2 Mana Wars, which are a bounce effect on a creature, which have proven to be one of the better cards in this deck. 4 Phyrexian Raiders, which is the card draw engine in this. 2 Gravediggers to get creatures back from the graveyard if they ever meet with creature removal, and 4 Doomsday Spectres, which were the real reason for me to try and build this deck. It's kind of like Hippie, except you get to pick the card. It's not random, and you can even hit lands with it. Now it is a 4-drop, doesn't have haste or anything like that, but still a very cool card and was actually pretty good when I got to hit on the battlefield, just because the deck was running enough hand disruption where once this actually sticks, you're usually only losing to top decks, which is kind of the downside of a discard-based strategy. As far as those hand attack options, we have 3 Cabal Therapies and 4 Duress. Straddling that line between hand attack, removal, and sometimes just a good pump effect is also 4 Funeral Charms. And when we do land our big Doomsday Spectre, we did invest quite a bit of resources into getting it out there. Having to bounce a creature back is not the most mana efficient, so I did want to protect it with 3 Mana Leaks and 1 Prohibit. As for the mana base, I'm running mostly swamps, 3 Underground Rivers, 1 Island, 3 Tainted Isles, 1 Volrath Stronghold, again to get a lot of that creature value back, and 4 Polluted Deltas. I will note one thing here is that I've been testing this recently with Mox Diamonds, and I found those to be really beneficial for this deck. Getting that acceleration and mana fixing. There's actually a couple of other creatures I'm trying, like it's called Falconos Seer, which when it leaves the battlefield, you draw a card as a card advantage engine opposed to Phyrexian Rager. I just want to make a note there because this is, of course, still very much an in-progress brew. As for the sideboard, I'm running 2 Annuls, 2 Phyrexian Furnaces, 1 Stern Proctor, which is a way to bounce enchantments to your opponent's hand, which actually was fairly relevant in some matchups. 2 Chills, 2 Perish, 3 Engineer Plagues, 3 Hydroblasts. Overall, this was a very fun list. I definitely think it has a lot of potential. Again, I mentioned it's a little slow, so I think adding the Mox Diamonds does help it ramp up a bit. Maybe some other mana rocks could fit the bill. There is that like Dark Water Egg, I think, which also mana fixes. Could be an option to look at. Anyways, that's my deck. Let's see who I'm playing against. Next up is Moze with another brew, 5-color Wayfarer control. Now, you may have caught the video where I did a behind the scenes look at the Portland Premodern tournament, how it usually runs, all the people that are there, general vibe of it. In that, Moze and I did play on camera, and this is that match. So I know he credited somebody else with this kind of deck concept, and unfortunately, I don't remember who that is. But anyways, as the name implies, this is a 5-color deck that really heavily leans on Weathered Wayfarer and Mox Diamonds to get its mana sources and play all the good cards. What are those good cards? Well, starting off, it looks like we got 2 Exalted Angels, 2 Psychotogs. I think that's a Psychotog. The glare is a little bit unfortunate. 4 Weathered Wayfarers, 4 Meddling Mages, 3 Sylvan Libraries, 4 Portents to help go find mana sources, and also just relevant spells, 4 counter spells, which is kind of crazy in a 5-color deck, 4 Swords of Plowshares, 3 Mox Diamonds, 2 Gaia's Blessings, 2 Call of Herds, 1 Abundance, which is kind of nifty, 1 Chain of Vapors, 1 Ray Revelation, 1 Seal of Cleansing, 1 Parallax Tide, 1 Enlightened Tutor, and then for the mana base, we got a whole mess of things. We got 4 Flooded Strands, 1 Treva's Runes, 2 Yavimaya Coast, 2 City of Brass, 1 Undiscovered Paradise, 2 Wastelands. I don't know how this deck can fit colorless lands in here, but it does. 2 Gemstone Mines, 1 Cephalid Coliseum, 4 Islands, 1 Plains. In the sideboard, he's got a 2nd Parallax Tide and a Null, a Phyrexian Furnace, and a Tormod's Crypt, 1 Tazabo's Web, 1 Sphere of Law, 1 Warmth, the 2nd Seal of Cleansing, 1 Aura of Silence, 2 Engineered Plagues, 1 Blue Elemental Blast, 1 Hydroblast, and 2 Pyroclasms. This literally is just playing some of the best cards in the format and is doing what it can to be able to make all those mana pips. This should be kind of a crazy game, so let's get into the match. And here we go. I am on the left, Mose is on the right. Now, this should be an interesting match. We are both playing pretty creature-heavy decks. Looks like Mose will mulligan here, though, so we'll just cut to when he has a keepable hand. Alright, Mose looking for 6 here. I will say that so far in this tournament, my matchups have not been great. I think I went up against 2 Oath of Druids decks before this round 3. I did get matches, or games I should say, on both of them, I want to recall. One of them was Reanimator. That was a really fun match. I wish that had been on camera. Alright, looks like Mose does have a keepable hand. Going to put a Psychotog back, it looks like, and I'm going to be leading us off with just a Swamp Go. Again, this blue-black creature deck, a little slow. Does have some turn 1 plays, but not a ton. We'll see if Mose can do anything faster here. Looks like he has an Angel. He's got at least 1 land and a Mox. And maybe some Dirty Sleeves. Alright, there's the coast. Nope, we're gonna pitch. Okay, we're gonna pitch the coast to the Mox. Going for max value, hoping I don't have artifact removal. Alright, yeah. Not doing anything on turn 2 either. Tainted Isle. Mose not seeing a land here. Gonna pass. Alright, here's my turn 3. Phyrexian Rager. Lose a life, draw a card. Not super exciting, but hey, it's the first creature on the board. There's a Wasteland. Sylvan Library. Say go. Mose finding his 2nd land and hopefully more with that library to dig his way out. There's an Underground River. A swing for 2. And do I get to do the thing? Yeah, Doomsday Spectre. We'll see how long it sticks around. If I get 1 hit with it, it'll be worth it. But there's a Chain of Vapor, which is not great for me. Mose also could potentially have a Swords in hand. I can't quite tell exactly what's in his hand besides the Exalted Angel. But deciding on how many cards he wants to take. Just taking 1. I think it was the Chain of Vapor. Yep. And probably gonna just bounce the Spectre on attacks, I'd imagine. So, yep, move to combat. Attempt to swing. There is the Chain of Vapor. Goes to my hand. Now I could sack a land to bounce the library here. Or the diamond. Ooh, yes. Okay, yeah. Alright, I forgot I did that. With Mose not having a lot of lands on the field, sacking a land makes a lot of sense, especially since I think I'm a little mana flooded here. So, this makes sense. I'll play out, a Duress as well. If I can hit the diamond, that takes him off of a lot of color options. He's also got, looks like another library, Call the Herd, and a counter spell. He also has a Meddling Mage and a Exalted Angel that I can't take Okay, I'm actually taking Call the Herd here. Interesting. I think, in hindsight, I maybe want to take that diamond. Okay, gonna play out another Rager, take another point, draw another card. Setting up next turn for the Spectre Part 2. Okay, Mo's taking 4 points here to draw 2 cards. Are they 2 lands? They might be. No, no lands. He's digging, find himself another option. So I guess the upside of taking the Call the Herd is, even if he does find another land, it takes away his threat. Okay, tapping 4. Bounce to get my Doomsday Spectre out again. Say go. And it looks like still no lands here for Mo's. Just gonna take 1. Oh, he did find an island. Okay. Alright, he's got 2 sources. There's their Wayfarer. Oh, but I got a Funeral Charm ready and waiting. 1/1s are not long for this world. Yep. +2/-1 to any creature. Usually a good removal spell, but can be a good damage spell. Alright, now what do I take with the Spectre? Meddling Mage it is. Meddling Mage actually very good against my deck because so much bouncing happening. Those can just name whatever creature I bounced and then I don't get to play it. Alright, there's a Rager, and unless Mose is able to find some lands pretty quick, this is going to be pretty well buttoned up. I don't think there's any lands. There's another counterspell, a Parallax Tide, and a Meddling Mage. He's been shuffling that Tide a bit because he's not been close to casting it. Okay, we're going to Portent here, which will get prohibited. Opting for a counter spell, trying to keep Mose from shuffling his deck. He only drew 1 card. The fact that he's not actually playing lands makes me think he's not seeing any. And the more I can delay, the closer we're going to get. Doomsday Spectre sees another counter spell, and I'm going to take the only threat on the board. Being able to morph the Angel could be bad. Okay, second Rager, draw another card. And Cavern Harpy, bouncing a Rager. And I do have a Rats here if I wanted to just really cause maximum pain. But it looks like I'm not opting to pay it here. Alright, yep, looks like we're going to pack it up, and I take game number 1. Alright, that was a bit of an unfortunate game number 1 for Mose there. Just not seeing very many lands. Using his own Chain of Vapor against him too, really, I think, threw off his ability to cast much. And just having the time to draw into answers for his Weather Wayfarer too was also very helpful for me. But here we are in game number 2. Those will be on the play this time with everything he did in game 1 on turn 3. All in turn 1. That's pretty good. So, see a library here. Again, I have a very slow start. My only 1-drops really are Funeral Charm, Duress, Cabal Therapy, and of those, probably only ever turn 1ing a Duress. Unfortunately, no 1-drops Premodern that have good ETBs, at least in blue and black. I do wish there was at least another Ravenous Rat style creature at 2 that we could play. Lean a little bit more into the hand attack side. Alright, there's a Weather Wayfarer. There's a land. Do I have any answers here? It looks like my hand is fairly slow. Okay, I'm going to fetch here though. Do I have Funeral Charm, or am I just trying to thin the deck out a little bit. Looks like Mox is also fetching here, so just trying to expedite the shuffle time, it looks like. Okay. Important here for Mox. I think I see a Bone Shredder in hand for me. Sees. Is that a tide, land, and something else? Puts the land to hand. Technically on the top. Draws it, yeah. Shortcut. It's fine. Swamp for turn and pass. Very slow. I have a Cavern Harpy. Can't play it. Have to bounce something when it ETBs, so. Do I have a counterspell held up? Maybe. This is the plus side of, I guess, having a bit of a slower deck, is you do hold up counter magic a little bit more. And why I'm calling this deck creature control and not creature aggro. Although maybe some like portents would be beneficial in this list. Who knows? Like I said, I think there's a lot of room to brew with this. I am by no means the strongest deck builder ever. Okay, there's a Bone Shredder. I'm going to target the Wayfarer. Mox will activate the Wayfarer in response. Go find probably another island. Oh, Treva's Runes. Actually, Treva's Runes would be good. Treva's with diamonds, or any layer land with diamonds, is actually really sick tech. It almost makes me wonder, actually, if I should be running, now that I'm running Mox in the newest version of this blue-black deck, I probably should put some layer lands there. There's, was it Dromar's Cavern that makes blue, black, and red? I don't really need the red. Or there's blue, black, and white. Blue, black, and white with the splash for meddling mages, where I can bounce it and name other relevant cards. That's actually pretty spicy. Anyways, we're getting too deep into the rabbit hole of concept building. Mox having a lot of options available to him. No shortage of mana this game, that's for sure. And tap 2, bounce the Wasteland, 3 for a Call of the Herd. But I think I see a Mana War in hand. Alright, we do have a reminder here. Do I pay the Echo cost on the Bone Shredder? I am not, because I want to bounce that 3/3. Which is exactly what's going to happen. Very solid answer to a token, but unfortunately Mana War going to get exiled. Alright, looks like another Treva's Runes, Chain of Vapor, and a Pyroclasm. Mox's deck. Or on top, I should say. Alright, 4, we're going to flashback, Call the Herd. Plan for turn. Ooh, okay. Gravedigger, gonna go get that Bone Shredder. Very relevant as to why I didn't pay the Echo cost. Not only did I have the Mana War, but I apparently had the Gravedigger in hand as well, knowing that I was going to be able to get it back anyways. Not as efficient as a Mana War against these tokens, but will still be enough to get rid of it next turn. So I'm just going to take the 3 here. Drop to 18. Notably, Mox does still have counter magic up. And there's a Guy's Blessing. Gonna shuffle the Swords, the Weather Wayfarer, and the Portent. No, the Fetch land actually back into the deck. The shuffle effect on Sylvan Library is pretty huge. Definitely can't be understated. And yeah, I'm just gonna decide to fetch here too. Just getting a swamp. Again, the blue splash originally for this deck was pretty low. One of the other changes I made actually after this tournament was adding another island as well. So there's at least 2 islands. I think there's even up to 3 now, but it is still very much black focused. All right, meddling mage here, aiming. Pretty sure it's bone shredder. And again, this is one of those reasons why meddling mage against this deck is pretty brutal. Most of you are going to write it out for us too, but I do remember that this was a bone shredder name. Very unfortunate. Okay, there's a Phyrexian Rager. Lose life, draw a card. That is a duress. So we fire that off here. Alright, Tainted Isle or a duress. And yep, taking the Pyroclasm. That does seem pretty good against me. It would take care of his Meddling Mage. Okay, we're gonna bounce probably the Rager here. Or the Grave Digger. Okay, Grave Digger, gonna get bounced. Sylvan Library, blah. A little too quick, I can see actually what he grabbed there, but I think the plan here is, okay, Wasteland on the Tainted Isle. Yeah, that makes sense. The plan here being I double block the elephant and I get my choice of those guys back. Yep, and then with the Gravedigger, it's like that'll be the play. There's a Psychotog. And suddenly the math is quite a bit scarier. Every card in Moses' hand, which looks like it's just a Sylvan Library, is plus 1 point of damage. Every card in his graveyard is 0.5. I'm still at 16. There's a Gravedigger. And I'm gonna get the Cavern Harpy back, which I will then play out, bounce the Gravedigger, and Mo's gonna fetch here. So with this Cavern Harpy and Gravedigger, functionally right now, I do have an infinite wall to block Psychotog, but I do have to block it every time, which he will have to pump in response, so I can like start to get cards out of his graveyard. However, this is not an ideal scenario by any means. Okay, I'm gonna untap. Mo sees another Meddling Mage, which that shoots a huge hole in my ability to cast Gravedigger and keep blocking the Harpy. Wasteland here for the Underground River, and gonna swing in. Mo's gonna exile 2 cards to buff the Psychotog. This is fairly good for me in that it does make it smaller, but I then pay a life. I forgot Cavern Harpy's second secret ability, pay a life to bounce it back to hand. Now, what does this Meddling Mage name? And Mo's just gonna play out the second Sylvan Library. There's a Volrath Stronghold, alright. Who needs a Gravedigger? Which is what Mo's actually named. If I can just use Volrath Stronghold. Not ideal by any means, but be just showing here I have a Bone Shredder that I can't use, Cavern Harpy, and a Doomsday Spectre, which I can't cast until I have a creature out, and a Gravedigger I also can't cast. So my hand is full of uncastable creatures at this point, thanks to Meddling Mages. Remember when I said Meddling Mage was very good against this deck? Yeah. That's 4 out of 5 cards in my hand I can't name. I can Volrath Stronghold to get the Phyrexian Rager back to the top of the deck to at least get something going. But in the meantime, I am taking damage here for sure. And that's even if it gets to resolve. Moz has a lot of mana up. He's going to take 4 points here to draw, resolving the second copy of Sylvan Library. Does give him a look at another card. Is fairly relevant. Alright, and Mo's going to exile some cards here just to get some damage across, it looks like. Nope, okay, opting for nothing. I just take 5, go to 9. Alright, Portent here on the second main. Deciding what he wants to draw on my upkeep. Looks like it's going to be a land. Say go. On your end step, I am going to activate Vor's Stronghold to get the Rager. Draw for turn. At least I'm hitting my land drops pretty consistently here. I did mention this deck likes to use a lot of mana because we're doing a lot of bouncing. I'm going to take a point here. Go to 8. That's another land. I don't like lands that much. And is this where... yeah, we'll play out the Doomsday Spectre. I do have to bounce the Rager. And say go. Now here's where I have to worry about Mo's just straight up killing me. He doesn't have a ton of cards in the graveyard. He has 3 cards in hand. And I have to think about what this means. So getting a quick count here. He does not have lethal. I am going to block still though. It does force him to exile 4 cards. Or pitch 1 card and exile. Or okay, he's going to pitch an island. Spectre going to hit the bin. And there's a Funeral Charm. Can't really do much right now. I can kill the Wayfarer, I guess. Which I don't know if I want to do necessarily. Not doing much. Mo's isn't really choosing to activate it. He definitely could. Alright, there's a Funeral Charm on the Meddling Mage. Do I have a second one? I do have a second one. Alright, 2 Funeral Charms on the Meddling Mages, giving him lots of fodder, but I also have a Bone Shredder that I can now cast. Unfortunately, cannot target the Psychotog, however I can take care of that second Meddling Mage, and suddenly Gravedigger is open to me. We are back on the infinite blocker train. Just have to avoid the swords. Or something. Okay, so interestingly here, Mo's activating the Weather Wayfarer in between the 2 library triggers. Gets himself a second look at some cards. He can't draw them, but he can at least rearrange them. Is that an Exalted Angel? Or does he draw him? Maybe that was his first draw, or maybe he took damage. I don't know. Either way. Okay, so yeah, blocking with the Bone Shredder. Just a 1/1, so Moses doesn't have to exile anything to it. But I also then don't have to pay the Echo cost. There's an Exalted Angel. Now, what is nice is I can go... oh, I can just put that on top too. Okay. I'm gonna do that before I draw. I could have gone Gravedigger there and then Bone Shredder. Does kind of functionally the same thing. Does use up a bit more mana, I guess. Okay, there's a Cavern Harpy on the Bone Shredder. Deciding I want Oh, and I'm actually getting aggressive here, swinging for 2. Bose is only at 8. This is actually a fairly close game. Now, my Cavern Harpy can block Psychotog. I can kind of play chicken with it for a little while. But Bose has a second Psychotog just sitting on top. Oh, yep, finds the swords. I can bounce back to hand to take a point, but at this point, I don't think it matters. Mose has plenty, and I am just dead. Let's go to game number 2. Let's go to game number 3. Okay, here we are in game number 3. Man, those meddling mages putting in some real work, but Psychotog just being an ever-present threat there. Did not have a good way to deal with it. But I'm back to being on the play. Looks like both players are keeping Cabal Therapy. Did I name a meddling mage? Probably. Doesn't have any though. If I can play out a creature next turn, could get Weathered Wayfarer. I don't know if it's relevant. Alright, there's a Ravenous Rats. Bo's deciding what he wants to pitch here. And this is a pretty juicy Cabal target, but I'm not going to cast it. Activating the Weathered Wayfarer. Was probably getting an island here. Oh, fetch land. Okay. Gonna play a City Brass. Play out the second Wayfarer. I see. I think he's maybe wanting to get double activations with Weathered Wayfarer. There's a Cavern Harpy on the Ravenous Rats. Say go. Playing with slow value game plan, but when Mose can put 2 cards in hand, that's pretty rough. Alright, he's got Call of the Herd in hand. Also Parallax Tide. Can activate. No, getting in for 1 here actually. Opting to block. Bouncing it back to my hand because I take 1 anyways. Why not? And then just gonna activate with a Wayfarer here. Now there is a moment if he was to actually play out that fetch land, he can crack the fetch land, then activate the Weathered Wayfarer. Once the fetch land no longer on the battlefield, because sacking is part of the activating shot. And there's the meddling mage. Wasn't there when I caballed for it last time, but it is there now, and I have to imagine he's naming Cavern Harpy. Or Bone Shredder. One of the 2. There's a Ravenous Rats. And this time, do I just take a Psychotog? I think I need to. Bo's gonna pitch a Wasteland. I'm still not activating that Cabal Therapy, and Psychotog can come down next turn. That's a bit of a mistake, I think, on my part. I don't know what I'm saving that Cabal Therapy for, but Dr. Teeth is a pretty good target. I think Bose is realizing that too, maybe. He was looking at it. The fact that I have like no good ways to kill it. One of the other things I think I added to the sideboard after this was just some straight up good removal spells. Bone Shredder is nice, but our format plays, especially our meta plays a lot of creatures with black. I was gonna fetch here. Grabs an island. Notably, I think I also may have missed a land drop. No, we're still on turn 4. Okay, tapping 4 for a Parallax Tide. At this point, I'm like, what the heck kind of deck are you playing? Okay, I'm just gonna take 2 lands here. Say go. Interesting that he left me with 1. Can't do much with it. Get in for 3. Plays out, call the herd, taking a point to do so. Does he have another call the herd in hand too? Oof. Alright, we found a blue source. There's a rats. Pitching land. Say go. All of this just feeding the Psychotog. Still 2 turns until I get my couple lands back. I have to imagine a Psychotog's coming out now. He has a second one in hand too. If I could have remembered to actually use that Cabal Therapy, could have 2 for 1. Nope, instead we're going to block an elephant. Take 2. At this point, I have to wonder if I just forgot that I have a therapy, even though it's right there. There's a Psychotog. And now we are in danger. We already were in a lot of danger. I mean, there's a 3-3, a 2-2, blocking my Cavern Harpy. There's a Funeral Charm where I am just cracking it, I think, to get a card. Is that where we're at? That is unfortunate. Yeah, I'm trying to decide what mana I wanted to spend on it. We'll spend a colorless to hit the Call the Herd. But Bo's saying, nope, you don't get a draw card. Exiling 2 Psychotog. But actually fizzles. Rough stuff. I think this is the death knell. I think we're in a lot of trouble. Swing in with everything. Gonna hit me for an additional 3, 4, and yep, that's enough. Ooh, that is a lot of Specters and Cavern Harpies I cannot cast. Like I said, Meddling Mage, just a hell of a card against this deck. Thanks to everyone for making it this far. Congrats again to Moz. If you've made it this far in the video, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel yet if you haven't already. Those are the 2 best ways to help support what I'm doing. But if you've been subscribed for a while and you want to help support the channel even more, consider joining the Patreon. We got a members only section of our Discord for Patreon where I post behind the scenes. It's also the only way to get your name up on this screen, which you see currently. Link is displayed on screen and in the video description. Thank you again to all my current patrons. You're all amazing. Money from the Patreon does go towards gear upgrades, travel expenses to other tournaments, and also just helping me make more videos in general. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next time.